and like not okay.
In the world of Hollywood, few stories have sparked as much debate as the live-action remake of Disney's Snow White. While Disney's fairy tales are known to make any fan blush pink, none come close to being as iconic as Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Yet somehow, the 2025 film adaptation has raised a hurricane of controversy, with Rachel Zegler at the center of it all.
It is just ridiculous.
Critics have been open about their discontent with not just the changes in the story, but also with Rachel's comments of disdain for the original Snow White. Now, Rachel's responses to the hate on the live-action remake have only added fuel to the flame. Rachel's message to the haters. The Snow White star has said a lot in recent time, most of which have backfired on her and the movie she's supposed to be promoting. You would think that she would avoid making any more comments, but she just had to drop her 2 cents for the haters in the house.
And like not okay.
Rachel has also said that the backlash and the many criticisms on the movie adaptation is due to the passion that fans have for the original movie. In her words, "I interpret people's sentiments towards this film as passion. What an honor to be a part of something that people feel so passionately about. We're not always going to agree with everyone who surrounds us, and all we can do is our best." Translation, you guys are mad only because you care. Well, that might be true, but this kind of passion has people bringing pitchforks, not flowers. Rachel's attempt to sprinkle sugar on the situation didn't make any of the fans feel better, by the way. It did nothing to quell the hate that was all over her and the film. In fact, the internet made sure that she knew just how much they weren't pleased by what she had to say. To show that her heart was in the right place and that it was all love, Rachel went on to say, "We need to love them in the right direction. At the end of the day, I have a job to do that I'm really excited to do. I get to be a Latina princess." While that might have seemed like a sweet thing to say, it would seem that Rachel had forgotten that one of the main reasons people were upset was because she had no semblance to the original Snow White, who got her name from the fact that she was white as snow. That's not an easy thing to overlook now, is it? But we'll come back to that later. All Rachel did was make us understand that she was just trying to keep up with the attention the film was getting, because there's a whole any press is good press mindset she seemed to have. Don't believe me? Rachel herself has said,
What can you say? When you get people talking, it's a good thing.
well, congratulations to you, Rachel. People are definitely talking. The drama surrounding Rachel Zegler and Snow White started way before the film was released. She insisted that the adaptation was an educational piece meant to empower women and reflect modern values. Unfortunately, that argument went down about as well as a poisoned apple. People weren't buying it at all. Instead, they were questioning why Snow White needed to be rewritten in the first place. And then, she took things up a notch. She revealed that she wasn't worried about the negative comments because the reviews and criticism were biased and only served to intensify the backlash. According to her, a silent majority supported the film. But what silent majority, Rachel? The world is loudly dragging this movie. As the backlash against the Snow White film adaptation continued to grow, Rachel Zegler's actions seemed to pour gasoline on an already raging fire. The situation escalated dramatically when Rachel was spotted in New York City wearing a sweater that said, "No tears lead to cry." Of course, Rachel isn't one to throw subtle shade. The picture quickly went viral, with many seeing it as a dismissive gesture that said, "I have no energy for you haters." This got the people who were already hating on the film even madder, stoking the fires to ungodly temperatures. As if that wasn't enough, Rachel added a dash of lighter fluid to the blazing furnace by liking and retweeting videos from a Lady Gaga fan account that expressed dislike for men. In the first video, Lady Gaga dramatically entered a bathroom screaming some not-so-family-friendly words. In the second clip, the Bad Romance singer bluntly states, "I just feel like my threshold for like bull men it's just I don't have one anymore." It was almost as though Rachel was trying to pass the message across that it was men who had an issue with the remake of Snow White. But what about the women who absolutely loved the story as it was? As if all of the heat on Rachel wasn't enough, she shared how she really felt about the movie, irrespective of the backlash from fans all over.
"I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online."
As you might have guessed, people didn't take too kindly to those words, but this time around, it wasn't a digital rant. The situation escalated to the physical world. Rachel revealed that individuals started showing up outside her apartment, shouting profane insults and hurling abuse at her. She has spoken candidly about the impact that all of these, including death threats from haters, have had on her mental health and daily life, acknowledging the toll it took on her well-being.
I can also be having the greatest time and simultaneously wishing people would stop sending me death threats.
Regardless of all these, with each new development, statement, and interview, it has become increasingly clear that Rachel's actions are a double-edged sword, drawing attention to the film while also fanning the flames of hatred. Ere all said and done, Rachel, in a rare moment of vulnerability, shared how much all the negative attention was getting to her.
But it's hard. And it's lonely. It's very lonely.
Maybe next time, instead of rewriting fairy tales, Rachel should take a page from one and learn when to
Let it go, let it go.
While Rachel tries to address the hate surrounding Snow White, it's clear that she played a huge part in fueling the controversy, with her initial comments about the original 1937 Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. The hate on Snow White. When Disney announced the live-action remake of Snow White, the world went crazy with excitement and skepticism. As one of Disney's most cherished classics, Snow White holds a special place in the hearts of many worldwide. The idea of reimagining such an iconic tale was a bold move. However, things got wild when Rachel Zegler was casted as Snow White. This set the stage for a whirlwind of reactions and controversy.
In general, you don't normally see Snow Whites that are of Latin descent. You don't particularly see people who, look like me or are me playing roles like that. See, when it got announced, it was a huge thing that was like trending on Twitter for days because all of the people were angry.
As an actress of Colombian descent, her selection for the role came as quite a surprise for lots of Disney fans. The decision has sparked a lot of criticism from those who argue that it strays too far from the character's traditional depiction, famously described as having skin as white as snow. The controversy surrounding Rachel Zegler's casting was further fueled by her own comments about the film.
I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again. Like, I'm being so serious. I watched it once and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again.
The young actress, who captivated audiences with her performance in West Side Story, did not receive as warm a reception with her casting as Snow White in Disney's highly anticipated live-action adaptation. Her comments made fans of Snow White and Disney as a whole wonder why a different person was not cast for the role, maybe someone who didn't think so lowly of the classic. In interviews, Rachel spoke about her interpretation of Snow White, describing the original story as creepy and suggesting that the prince's role could be minimized. She criticized the original 1937 animated film, calling it extremely dated and expressing discomfort with the portrayal of women in power.
The original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. It's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White that is
not going to be saved by the prince.
She's not going to be saved by the prince, and she's not going to be dreaming about true love.
Rachel then went ahead to suggest that the prince in Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was kind of a stalker.
There is a big focus on her love story. With a guy who literally stalks her. Yeah. Weird.
This did not go over well with longtime Disney fans. It's one thing to modernize a story, but to roast it like a Thanksgiving turkey? Nuh-uh, Rachel. Not cool. She went on to comment on the outdated themes and the portrayal of Snow White as a passive character, suggesting that the new adaptation would offer a more empowered version of the princess.
She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be, and the leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, fair, brave, and true. We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because we cast a guy in the movie.
These remarks did not go down well with most of the public, as fans of the original questioned whether Rachel's vision aligned with the timeless tale they cherished. While Rachel's comments were seen by some as a bold move to modernize the narrative, others viewed them as a dismissal of the classic story's charm. Fans of the original film voiced their disappointment, accusing Rachel of disrespecting a beloved classic. They argued that the original Snow White, despite being a product of its time, holds an important place in cinematic history and should be celebrated rather than criticized. The controversy doesn't stop there. Rachel's outspoken nature and political views have further fueled the flame. Rachel's social media presence has been a lightning rod for controversy. Her posts criticizing Donald Trump and expressing support for Palestine have drawn attention, leading to accusations of the film being woke and politically charged. This has resulted in a culture war attack on the film. The marketing strategy for Snow White has also been a point of contention. Disney's decision to delay the film's promotional push until the final weeks before release has been interpreted by some as a lack of confidence in the film's success. Industry insiders noted the unusually quiet marketing campaign, with advance ticket sales commencing less than 2 weeks before the film's release. One would think Disney was trying to sneak one past us. In response to the mounting controversy, Disney took certain steps to manage the film's rollout. The studio opted for a more controlled premiere event, avoiding traditional red carpet press to prevent any on-the-spot questioning of Rachel and her co-star. Following its release, the backlash against the 2025 Snow White film adaptation was quick and unrelenting. As soon as early reviews began to surface, it became clear that Disney had rubbed their fan base wrong. Critics who had previously championed Disney's live-action remakes were now voicing their disappointment, citing a host of issues with the film. The changes, the casting, the message, it all rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
But every way that the movie changed the story from the original, the 1937 movie, or even from the original Grimm Brothers fairy tale, every way that Disney changed the story, it changed it for the worse.
Political commentator Michael Knowles even took a swing at the movie, saying that all the changes that Disney made from the original 1937 movie only made it worse. He also highlighted that the Farla nature of the movie was not exactly a shocker, considering Rachel's previous comments on the movie and her anti-Trump message on social media. Critics voiced their discontent, arguing that the casting was an unnecessary deviation from the original. Some purists felt that the essence of Snow White was being lost in the pursuit of modernity. Some fans of the original story feel alienated by the changes. They argue that the film's departure from traditional elements pushes away the very audience that has cherished Snow White for decades. The movie also faced backlash for its portrayal of the Seven Dwarfs. Ahead of its release, Game of Thrones actor Peter Dinklage commented that he was surprised that Disney was so proud of casting a Latina actress as Snow White while still telling a fairy tale of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. This comment was based on the troubling phenomenon of people with dwarfism being depicted as creatures of fairy tale. Disney's response to this was a party of dwarfs that was completely computer generated. Disney's big fix was to delete an entire group of people from the movie. As you would guess, that didn't get the reaction they expected. It drew additional outrage as people pointed out that Disney threw away a valuable opportunity to represent the little people community in a mainstream production. It just seems like the Snow White live-action film can't catch a break. And in the face of mounting backlash and controversy, Rachel chose the noblest path, a change in stance. Rachel has significantly revised her earlier negative views on Snow White. Although she described the original film as weird and extremely dated, she has since taken a noticeably different stance, expressing gratitude and enthusiasm for her role in the remake. On a recent appearance on Good Morning America, the actress explained that being cast as Snow White was the honor of a lifetime, and described the opportunity as a dream come true, especially for a self-professed huge Disney fan.
It's the honor of a lifetime. I think every young person dreams about a phone call like that. I'm certainly extra special as a huge Disney fan. She's the first Disney princess that Disney ever created, and in the 1937 film, to get to bring her to life in such a unique way and such a special way. It's just a beautiful opportunity. I'm very honored.
She highlighted the unique creative process she and her co-stars engaged in to bring the classic character to life in a fresh, modern way. Rachel emphasized that the new film serves as a bridge between the beloved classic and today's contemporary storytelling, aiming to introduce the timeless tale to a new generation. She noted that Snow White's enduring qualities are her heart and determination, highlighting that those qualities remain at the core of the story and the Disney legacy. Yeah, fans weren't exactly buying that. Considering how much she talked down on the original movie, the internet responded with too little, too late with regard to her sudden change of heart. The I-937 original has not been the only thing on the receiving end of Rachel's hate though, as there have been talks of in-house fighting between cast members for the live-action film. Rachel also hates on co-star. Away from the Snow White drama, which, let's be honest, has been messier than the evil queen's poison apple recipes, another storm is brewing. And this time, it isn't just about whether or not Rachel Zegler has actually seen the original movie. Oh no. This one involves real-world tensions between Rachel and her co-star, Gal Gadot, and their very, very different views on a highly sensitive issue, the Israeli-Palestinian war. Rachel has been loud and proud about her stance, going as far as using her social media platforms to reflect that stance. In August 2024, following the release of Snow White trailer, Rachel shared the trailer on her X account and then added another message underneath, and always remember Free Palestine. On the other hand, there's Gal Gadot, who, in case you forgot, is literally from Israel and served in the Israel Defense Forces. It shouldn't come as a surprise where her loyalties lie. She's also vocal, using her social media to boldly show who she stands with. Given these circumstances, it's no surprise that these two ladies are not on the same page. The different perspectives had sparked discussions about the potential tensions that might arise during the film's promotion, and just as many feared, it seems that is exactly what's going on now. Many fans have pointed out that Rachel and Gal have nothing in common, and that the co-stars live very different lives. Oh, by the way, remember when Rachel made those shocking remarks and criticized the original Snow White movie?
No, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again.
Yeah, well, Gal had thoughts on that as well. Gal thought she must be joking, and of course Rachel was not. Reports state that Gal's response was basically that Rachel didn't understand that she was not supposed to criticize or cause drama for any project you were signed on to do, which makes total sense. As if that wasn't awkward enough, Gal was nowhere to be seen at Snow White's big European premiere in Spain. Fans were wondering why that happened, seeing as Rachel and Gal have appeared at multiple events to promote their film, including Disney's D23 Expo in 2022.
Visual effects push the boundaries of what we see on screen.
Their work makes the impossible seem possible.
And at the recent Academy Award, where they both presented the Best Visuals Effects category together. Was this move a silent stay away from me situation? Well, according to sources who defended the co-stars, Gal was never meant to be in Spain. Away from Rachel for a moment, Gal is facing her own backlash. The release of the trailer for Disney's live-action remake of Snow White also sparked an anti-Semitic campaign on social media against Gal Gadot. Fans who are pro-Palestinian have criticized the casting choice of Gal as the evil queen and are calling for not just a boycott of the film, but also encouraging people to pirate the movie. Why? You guessed it, because she's of Israeli background and open stands with her country. The hate on Gal spiraled to not just her role in the movie, but also personal attacks on her. Some of the comments mentioned that while Gal Gadot was just as beautiful as Rachel, at least she, Rachel, was not a Zionist. Some even asked for the evil queen to be recast and reshot. One comment even went as far as mentioning that Gal served in the Israeli army, and so the movie should be boycotted for all Palestinians. While the backlash on Gal Gadot continued with even more hateful comments online, another viral rumor came into play to add fuel to the fire. The rumor claimed that Gal refused to present the Best Documentary Oscar because the winner, No Other Land, was a pro-Palestinian film. The rumor gained ground when a viral post claimed that Gal had pulled out of presenting the award to the documentary when she found out that that was the recipient. Well, just like with most rumors, reports revealed that the claim was false and that Gal was never scheduled to present that award. Regardless, that did not stop the claim from getting the public more pissed at Gal's alleged guts. The trailer's release also prompted a different wave of reactions online. Hundreds of thousands of Israeli and Jewish users lavished praise on Gal, expressing immense pride and admiration. On this side of the internet, Rachel is getting bashed by people who think that she should sit this one out and not share her thoughts on the ongoing war. Why? Because she has no grounds on the matter. Unlike Gal, who is from Israel and has direct ties to the issue, Rachel does not. Not only that, her comments on social media showing her support for Palestine has led to people accusing her of stirring up unnecessary drama for Gal Gadot. Even her social media moves have people raising their eyebrows and catching heat for what seems like a deliberate act of leaving Gal completely out of her promotional posts. Back in August 2024, Rachel made a post on Instagram sharing her pictures and a video with the caption, "The Ferris BTW, awesome stuff, but where was Gal?" Fast forward to the 21st of March 2024, Rachel shared another Instagram post featuring a collection of photos from the set of Snow White, highlighting the cast and crew that brought the movie to life, except something or someone was missing from the post: Gal Gadot. The next day, the 21st of March, Rachel shared another Instagram post hyping up her entire cast and crew with the caption, "It takes a village to bring stories like Snow White to the big screen, and I love this one so very much. Here's a little glimpse into this family I came to care for deeply." Catch them all in action both in front of and behind the camera, in theaters now. This time around, Rachel individually showcased and gave shout-outs to members of the crew and some co-stars. In case you haven't caught the trend yet, she, once again, made no mention of or included Gal in this post either. But of course, when she does talk about Gal, she has this to say:
She's terrifying. She's terrifying. It's gonna shock audiences how she can really tap into that evil queen. It's really wonderful, and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's giving some frenemy vibes over here. Oh, and Rachel also just so happened to not show up to Gal Gadot's unveiling of her Hollywood Walk of Fame star on the 18th of March. Yeah, this might not mean anything whatsoever, but it has led to the speculation that Rachel is intentionally distancing herself from Gal to avoid getting even more backlash from the public. Well, if that was the plan, it's not working, girl, because in case you haven't noticed, she's still getting hit with even more controversy surrounding the movie, her comments about the movie, her stance on the ongoing dispute, and even her political choices. This huge divide has not only affected the actress's public images, but has also raised concerns about the film's success. Reports suggest that the movie's budget has ballooned to over $200 million thanks to all the reshoots and extensive CGI work. With such a high investment, if this movie flops any more than it is now, it won't just be the fairest of them all, it will be the biggest L for Disney. The entire situation has become a spectacle, with many Disney fans eagerly watching to see how it all unfolds. One thing is certain though, the Snow White saga seems to be way more entertaining than the actual movie.